Hello everybody, this is AG here and welcome to the Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, as we are here to qualify for tomorrow's finale race in the 2023 Haas IndyCar Series, the Haas World Championship 200K, 125 miles, 50 laps around the tricky triangle tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, and we'll determine a champion here in the Haas IndyCar Series. And I know a lot of talk is being made about the Wawa Cup Series. Of course, the penultimate race of the season tonight at 6:30. We got ourselves a very, very intriguing championship battle here in the IndyCar Series. After the duel at the Glen, Lona holds a 6-point lead on Aaron Abel, but Jay Knapp and John Andrews, the two winners of the races at Watkins Glen, are also in championship contention as well. Jay Knapp is 22 points behind, and John Andrews, even though he's a long shot, a race victory, and the other three drivers wrecking out, I mean, he's the champion. He's only 39 points behind. They are the only four drivers eligible for the championship. It's not a double points race. It is 50 points for the win and an extra bonus point for leading a lap and another bonus point for leading the most laps if you do, and another bonus point if you win the pole. So that makes this qualifying session very important. At 27 drivers attempting this race, all 27 will be in the show. Angel Gutierrez, the Indianapolis 250 champion, will be running in this event as well. He will qualify on his own, and then it is a two-group session for everybody else. The qualifying order on your screen and in the description down below. Gutierrez will go out first by himself, and then we go 13th and 14th in points, then 12th and 15th in points, and then so on. Our last four groups are going to be the most important ones. That's where John Andrews, Jay Knapp, Aaron Abel, and Lona will qualify in, and where they start could very well determine where they end up finishing. This is a difficult place to work through the field here at Pocono, unlike the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And you definitely want to be starting up front if you have an opportunity at winning this race. Let's go ahead and get started here. For single car qualifying at the Pocono Raceway, Angel Gutierrez, the Indy 250 winner, going to lead us off here at the Pocono Raceway for the Haas World Championship 200K. Here we go for our first driver of the day. He will go out by himself, but after that huge win back in Memorial Day weekend. Hey, we're already towards the end of summer here, guys. Next week, Labor Day weekend. What's going on here? But either way, Angel Gutierrez here in the number 16, going to go out by himself. Of course, won the Indianapolis 250 as an Indy 250 only driver. I thought it fitting to reward him with another start here in the Haas IndyCar Series in the Haas World Championship 200K. And excited to see what he can pull off here with everybody else in the midst of this championship battle now. Gutierrez will be awarded a full-time ride next season, whatever that may end up looking like next season. Still up in the air on what the series will be in 2024. Obviously, of course, the Indianapolis 250 will be run, as always, but still questioning how we're going to run the series next year. I think the series needs a little bit of a rework, a little bit of a rebrand, possibly. And let's just say a lot of options are on the table for what the open wheel series here on AG, the channel, will look like going forward. But regardless of the fact, we'll leave it at that, and we'll enjoy the weekend here at Pocono. Already had some great races at Daytona, even though I haven't yet to record them myself. I'm sure we have had some excellent racing. Rowdy Energy Pro Series started. Turkey Hill Truck Series was last night. And, of course, we got the Valvoline 400 tonight. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, a little bit early for us here at 4 p.m. Eastern. 44.246 for Gutierrez. He'll put his time on the board. We'll go ahead and move on to Bradshaw and Landon Smith Jr. here at the Pocono Raceway. Next two drivers in line, Landon Smith Jr. and Bradshaw. There's no race victories amongst the two drivers this season. Bradshaw did win the pole for the first race at Watkins Glen last week, but could not hold on for the race win. That was the one that John Andrews went to victory lane. That was a bit of a wild race. As a matter of fact, the two races at the Glen were quite interesting to end out the road course racing this season. And Jay Knapp there coming through with the race victory in the second race. Absolutely one of the highlights of the season, especially with Micah in the booth for that race. Unfortunately, we won't have Micah in the booth tomorrow. Was unable to make the recording for the finale race, but definitely great to have him in as many races as we did this year, and great to see his metaphorical son finally go to victory lane. I mentioned that where you start means quite a bit to where you finish here. This race is going to be very unique. Of course, if you've seen it in the past couple of years we have run the event, it's mainly a single file line the entire way through, and there's a very high chance this race will go caution-free. And with that being said, it's a two-stop race. So these guys are going to have to make sure their pit stops are perfect, because otherwise you're not going to have a good run. You got to stay in that lead trap to have an opportunity. And you definitely want to be up front during that first cycle of pit stops. And it is difficult to pass here. Once they get in a line, it's still possible, still going to happen throughout the race. But, you know, you got to definitely get that track position while you can. A 3-1-9 for Landon Smith Jr. there. And Bradshaw goes 2-2-3 to the top of the board. So good run there for Bradshaw, as he is currently the fastest driver here at the Pocono Raceway. Here we go for our next two groups. Nicolas Samudio and Eric True, our next group. Next two drivers is what I should say. Nicolas Samudio, winner of Honda Indy Chicago. A very close finish. I still believe that might be the closest finish we have had on the year so far in any series on the channel. We'll see how it measures up once we get to the end of the year, New Year's Eve, when we upload the top 10 or top 15 closest finishes of the year. We may go top 15 this year, since we've had a lot more races this year than we have in the past couple of years. Nicolas Samudio here and Eric True. We'll see what Samudio can do. Of course, kind of just existed all season. Did get the win at Chicagoland, but right in the middle of the pack most of the year, and definitely not the success he has seen over in the Wall Cup Series. Of course, still winless over in the Wall Cup Series, but he's the points leader now going into tonight's race at Daytona. He's going to take an ultrasonic flight back down to his home state tonight to race in that one and come back up here tomorrow. Hey, it's NR2003, you know. No one's doing that, but either way, Samudio's got a big race tonight, looking to hold his points lead going into the finale of the Wall Cup Series. A great lap here. Well, that excitement for the Valvoline 400, giving him the fastest time so far here in qualifying. Let's see what Eric True can do, winless on the year in the ride that Trey Smith won the Indy 250 in last year. Ryan Durrani Incorporated nowhere near to the level they were last year, unfortunately. Of course, Trey Smith was driving for him last year, got 3 wins on the year. This year, a big goose egg in the win column, and both of their drivers struggled all year long, especially Christian Vargas, who we'll see later on here in this session. But Eric True, definitely a solid driver all around. Of course, won in the Turkey Hill Truck Series last year at Martinsville. Like I said, I've yet to record the Truck Series race as of the time of me recording this from last night. Who knows, he may have gone the victory lane in the Featherlight Trailers 250 last night. We'll just have to see. Of course, you guys have already seen. 269 for Eric True. That will put him in the 4th position. You know, having Angel Gutierrez out there, that's going to really mess with him. Let's go ahead and move on to our next group. Here's another winner from this season, actually a 2-time winner. Got the race victory at Firestone, Indy, Texas at COTA, and then went on to win at Kansas. But since that Kansas win, Cole Raymond has not had much success here this season in the Haas IndyCar Series. Driving for Nathan Orman Motorsports. His second year, as a matter of fact, I think he's one of 2 drivers that returned to the same team he drove for the year prior, and the only driver to stay in the same number from last year. But not as good of a season as he had last year. It was actually much higher in the championship standings. However, he is the defending winner of this Haas World Championship 200K. Won this race a year ago. We'll have to see if he gets his 3rd win of the season, driving for Nathan Orman Motorsports. Other drivers, Justin Zajdel, who won the opening event of the season at the Auto Club Speedway, the California 100. That was his only win this season, and only his 2nd ever win in the Haas IndyCar Series. So with that all being said, a little bit earlier I said I would let it go, but I'm curious what you guys think. How should the Haas IndyCar Series look next year? What should we do? Obviously, the Indy 250 is going to happen, but you know, what else should we do for this series? I'm genuinely curious what you guys think. Type it in the live chat if you want to. Type it in the comments below. You know, I'll ask this question and do some research on what you guys think in the Discord as Cole Raymond goes to 6th. That's a 407 for Cole Raymond, and just Zajdel coming out right around him right there. So we'll see what the 23 can do for Grattan Autosports. Both of the Grattan cars won races this season, so I'm sure Stewart's happy about that. I know he's still fuming over last week's race at Watkins Glen in the Wall Wall Cup Series when Matt Tuck and Justin Zajdel wrecked each other out in lap 6 into turn 1. Both while they were running top 5 in that race. What a massive moment in the Wall Wall Cup Series. It took out Drew Webb, essentially. Rain Perez caught up in the accident, and now we have Nicolas Samudio, of course, leading the championship standings over there. But it's still just as tight as it was going into that Watkins Glen race, and we only got 2 races left to go. Can't stress enough how important tonight's race is at Daytona for the Valvoline 400. It is going to be wild and intense, and all leading up to next week's Mellow Yellow Southern 500 on Labor Day Sunday. Not on Labor Day itself, but the Sunday before Labor Day. Noon Eastern Time. 125 miles in that one as well to determine the champion. Going to be a lot of fun. But we got a champion to decide here in the Haas IndyCar Series tomorrow at the Pocono Raceway. Lona, Aaron Abel, Mike Knapp, and John Anders all in the battle. They'll be in the last 4 groups here today. Justin Zajdel goes 3.80. He'll take 6th away from Cole Raymond, but both of these guys slow here in this group. Christian Master in the 55. Bit of a forgettable season for him. As a matter of fact, last week at Watkins Glen, qualified dead last in both races. Driving for Dracoan Racing Enterprises this season, another team that was winless here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Of course, Landon Smith Jr. never went to victory lane, and neither did Christian Master. Brad Stover, though, also in this group with Christian Master, did go to victory lane at Lime Rock Park earlier this year. Great job out of the DM Motorsports team in that one. But unfortunately, neither driver here eligible for the title as we head into the finale race. And Christian Master, a past Indy 250 champion, won it all the way back. Actually, it was the Indy 200 when he won it. All the way back in 2015, the second running of the race. Ran fairly well in the Walla Walla Cup Series earlier in the year, but kind of trailed off near the end. His teammate Eric Monaco has actually surpassed him in points, I do believe, over there. Can't quite remember. Of course, his team owner, Aaron Abel, going for the championship. His team owner in the Walla Walla Cup Series, I should say, going for the championship. Let's see what he clocks in here. Needs to beat a 2:03 for the pole. Goes 3.58 right there. That'll be 6th. The past 3 drivers have been 6th. And then we wait for Brad Stover. Of course, got the 1 win at Lime Rock Park earlier this year. That was his only win in the Haas IndyCar Series so far, but the only win for DM Motorsports as well. Only unless DM Motorsports happen to go to victory lane. The Rowdy Energy Pro Series on Tuesday or the Truck Series last night. Like I said, I haven't recorded those races yet, so don't know what happened. Recording this before any of the stock car races because this is a little bit of an extensive upload because we'll have the points going up on the right-hand corner of your screen. Of course, this right here, qualifying, also going to take a little while to put together for you guys as well. And I can't record Rowdy Energy Pro Series, the Sprint Series, or the Truck Series until the ratings forms are officially done on Wednesday of this week. So here I am doing this for y'all, so you can get it. So that's why I'm not going to mention anything that happened in the prior races. And the same will be said for tomorrow's championship race. We'll not mention anything that happened over the week at Daytona, just because I recorded it before. Re-recorded all those races you saw. I normally try to get everything done in order, but it just wasn't going to work out for this week. It's just a lot to put together in the span of a couple weeks. Of course, next week another big weekend as well, with the Cup Series ending. So we got a 3.87. Yeah, finally. Not 6th anymore, but a little bit slower there for Brad Stover. let's go on to our next group here at Pocono Raceway. Here we go for our next round, Trey Smith and John Stewart. You may notice a little bit of a technicality here. I accidentally got the order wrong. Brad Stover and Christian Master were supposed to be the 5th round, not including Angel Gutierrez. They ended up moving to the 4th round, and Trey Smith and John Stewart are here for the 5th round, even though Trey Smith is lower in points, than Brad Stover, and John Stewart is above Christian Master in points, but the weather conditions are the same for everyone. It doesn't really matter. Here's Trey Smith. One win on the year came in the Virginia 100K at Richmond. That was it for him, and I almost got a runner-up finish at Road America. Could have won that race, possibly. Spun out near the end there, and his teammate Chris Reynolds went on the victory lane. Believe he finished runner-up, though, in the last race, the second race at Watkins Glen, when Knapp went to victory lane. But Trey Smith, he actually came into this race, I do believe, in championship contention against Brian Rodriguez last year, but could not hold it off. Of course, it was Trey Smith and Zachary Fitzwater going after it majority of the season last year, and out of nowhere, Rodriguez took it away. We may see a situation like that with Knapp tomorrow. We'll have to see what he can do. Across the line for Trey Smith. Let's see where he goes. Going to be a, wow, yikes, 6.50. That's the slowest time so far. And by a long shot as well. Going to be interesting to see how it ends up shaking out here for John Stewart in the 25. Of course, Wisconsin Speedworks has not had the best of runs this season, at least in comparison to last year when they won the championship with Brian Rodriguez. Neither John Stewart nor Avery Alford have been able to go to victory lane yet this year. And this is kind of the result of that. They've just been kind of mid-pack all season. But one more race, you never know who's going to win the last race. It could be anybody, with it being an equal rating series here. And we'll just have to see what John Stewart can, in fact, pull off tomorrow. Here he goes to start his fast lap. I have not been paying attention at all to the miles per hour. Maybe you guys have been. I'll let you guys do the determining factor on that. This is an Indy 250 qualifying where people fail to qualify. This is qualifying for a race where everyone makes the race. So what's the point? Well, I'll tell you what the point is. I said I was going to do it, and I'm a man of my word. How's that for you? Going to be fascinating to see where our championship competitors end up starting as well. I'm intrigued to see how that ends up going, because if either Lona or Aaron Abel win tomorrow, they win the championship outright. There's just no way around that. It's only a 6-point gap between the two, but further down you go, the more complicated it gets. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all ends up shaking out. 4.69 for John Stewart. So both of these guys, two slowest so far in this session. Next in line, it's Tanner Partin and Roy Ribbleton. A couple of drivers who were winless this season. However, Tanner Partin has had a pretty solid year, I believe. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 8th in points coming into this race. Not too bad. Then again, no. This is his first year in the IndyCar. He's still never gone to victory lane. There are a couple drivers, who I'm waiting for them to get their first wins. Tanner Partin and Dylan Matthews. Now, Dylan Matthews, she only has 2 more races to have that go her way in the Wall Cup Series, as she is an owner in both the Trucks and the Pro Series. However, Tanner Partin is not an owner in the Pro Series. Can sign up for that. We'll see if he does or not. But I would love to see Tanner finally break through and get a race victory. Of course, he also has a couple more races in the Wall Cup Series to do it in as well. Tonight, a good opportunity for him to maybe get something to work. Hey, this race could be a good opportunity for him. Of course, his teammate Cole Raymond won it last year in the Nathan Orman Motorsports machine. Maybe Nathan Orman gets the Pocono win again in the Haas IndyCar Series. Coming across the line here for Tanner Partin, the 12th driver to qualify here today. Gonna go 44.294. Solid time. Not enough for the pole, but that's good enough for 5th. And now we wait for Roy Ribbleton in the 33 machine to see what he can, in fact, pull off. Roy Ribbleton, was pretty solid at Richmond in that race that Trey Smith won, but could not go to victory lane. Kind of fell off near the end, and Trey Smith pulled away around that 3/4 of a mile short track. And we just wait for him to get his lap in here, get him on the track. Tired of waiting. Come on, let's go. Let's do it. We had this issue in Michigan, I think, when it just took forever to get out onto the racetrack. It was like, come on, stop wasting time. There we go. Now, this is another team that's had a lot of struggle this season. Dutch Atlantis Racing. Hopefully they find some speed over in the Pro Series this year. Frank Chilton's team. And Roy Ribbleton, not really a good season. And then Ace Garcia. Oh man, that last race at Watkins Glen, that was a tough one. I mean, it worked in the favor of J. Knapp perfectly, but Ace Garcia blowing up while leading. I mean, I tell you what is going on with these races? We had Drew Webb blow a tire while leading in Michigan in the Cup Series a couple weeks ago, and then Ace Garcia does it in the IndyCar Series at Watkins Glen. Arguably, Ace Garcia should have won that race, but the NR gods had other ideas. And J. Knapp went to victory lane and now sits 22 behind. But if that did not happen, J. Knapp probably would have finished second and probably wouldn't have even led a lap. So he would have been 33 behind coming into this race. And who knows, that could end up determining the championship. Every little thing matters in these points championships, and it's always very fascinating to see how it all ends up shaking out. It's been a solid season here in the IndyCar Series, but it's been even better over in the Cup Series. And tell you what, we've got some good stuff coming up here on the channel. That's all I got to say. Ribbleton has gotten a couple of wins, though, in the Sprint Series this year over in the stock car side, so not winless on the year on the channel. But one more opportunity for him to possibly sneak one in the IndyCar Series. Across the line, going to go 44.306. Not a bad time right there, just below Tanner Partin. And he'll go to the 6th position. Thomas Troxell and Logan Williams are the next two drivers. Two more winless drivers on the year. Logan Williams almost got it at Chicagoland, but you know what happened there. And then Troxell, of course, failed to qualify for the Indianapolis 250. Not been a good season for him at all in the IndyCar Series. His teammate has fared way better this year. But this is in Indianapolis. Of course, the closest track to Indianapolis on the schedule for these guys, but it races much differently than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway does, and these guys are going to have an interesting opportunity to possibly get a win if they qualify well. Of course, they didn't qualify well at Indy, so who knows how it's going to shake out for these guys at Crown Ultra Racing. Like I said, their teammate, John Anders, they've fared way better than anyone else. They fared way better than Thomas did. Let's just put it that way. John Anders does have a shot at this championship for Roberto Crown Jr. We'll have to see if he can, in fact, pull it off. Thomas Troxell is looking for a race victory across the line for the number 42. 2:72. Pretty solid time right there for Troxell. And that'll put him temporarily 5th. Here comes Logan Williams. And he is on his fast lap right here. So this will be it for Williams. Let's see what he can do. Because these two guys are going to be teammates. They are teammates in the Turkey Hill Truck Series at Evans Ross Racing. 161. There's your new pole sitter, at least temporarily. Logan Williams with a fast time here at Pocono. Here we go. Chris Reynolds in the 75. 3-time winner on the year. Could have been 4 if he didn't have his mechanical issue in the first race at Watkins Glen. And honestly, could be in the championship fight if it weren't for that mechanical issue at Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen was not kind to Chris Reynolds, and we'll have to see what he can end up pulling off here in the last race of the season. Chris Reynolds and Avery Alford in this group. Alford did not have a good run this season as a rookie driver. And that was, of course, the ride that won the championship in that 13 machine. Meanwhile, Chris Reynolds in the 75 looking to get something to go his way here. Got to beat a 161, 44.161 to start on the pole, or at least provisionally have it. Logan Williams just set the fastest time there in the number 38 machine. And we're closing in here on John Andrews. Just a couple of rounds, and be our next, or first driver, I should say, that has an opportunity at winning the championship. Chris Reynolds in the 75 coming across the line. He's going to go to a 3.50 right in the middle right there. We'll see what Avery Alford can do. Still waiting for Alford to pull off here if he's got an opportunity of possibly getting this one done. Here he comes. That number 13 machine is definitely interesting. No doubt about it, because this thing won the title last year. And Avery Alford could not find victory lane at all. And here he is with one more opportunity at possibly taking this car to victory lane. Even though, as I said, when John Stewart was out, has not been kind to the Wisconsin Speedworks team. Andrew Williams there. Of course, Andrew Williams, a driver over in the Truck Series. Great to see Andrew and Logan racing each other. That's going to be a lot of fun this season in the Truck Series, seeing those two guys duke it out. Here we go across the line for Avery Alford to start his fast lap. We'll see how well he can do. So right now looking like Logan Williams and Nicolas Samudio on the front row, the two guys who were essentially fastest at Chicagoland, the 1-2. Of course, Samudio with the win there, and Logan Williams the runner-up. Let's see if any of our four championship competitors end up getting a solid run. That's going to really be where the kicker is, and where those four drivers start will determine how this championship is going to play out tomorrow. Definitely intrigued to see how it's all going to shake out. We're getting there. We're getting there. We'll have something to talk about here in a moment. 3-2-2 for Alford. Not bad. Going to be right down the middle as well. Let's go on to our next group. Caleb Rose, Michigan 100 winner, finally went to victory lane. That was his first career win as a driver. He has many wins as an owner. Appalachian Motorsports definitely doing a lot of work over there in the Cup Series and in the Sprint Series. Of course, his driver, Nicolas Samudio, leading the championship over there going into tonight's race. But Caleb Rose is a driver. He came close so many times. I remember, well, I don't remember. I ended up going back and watching the first race of Watkins Glen from last season. Was completely unaware and completely forgot that Caleb Rose was coming to the checkered flag and overshot the last corner, and Jesse Turner went to victory lane. That was Jesse Turner's last win on the channel. And little did we know it would take almost an entire year for Caleb Rose to finally go to victory lane on the channel. But here he is with a race victory under his belt. He's 5th in the championship, but still just a little bit too far behind to have an opportunity at the title. But nonetheless, excited to see what he can do. Zachary Fitzwater as well in the 81. We'll get to him in a moment. Let's see what Caleb Rose can clock in here for Trackhouse Racing and Reggie Fogelman. 4.35. Not really a good run there for Caleb Rose. Be starting a little deeper than he would like. Here's Zachary Fitzwater starting his first lap. His fast lap, I should say. You only get one lap in qualifying. And Fitzwater, you know, I'm intrigued to see what he does in the trucks because he's finally with a good team over there. Obviously, the Wall Walk Cup Series did not work out for Fitzy as he was with a team that never did their ratings. Obviously, a different story here in the IndyCar Series. He still had issues, even though it was an equal rating series. But it's still yet to go to victory lane in 2023 here on AG the channel. He wants to keep that streak alive. He has won in every single year of competition coming up to this year, except for this year itself. We'll have to see where he ends up starting here at the Pocono Raceway. Across the line for Fitzwater. 2.36. That ain't a bad way to go for your first win of the year. Fitzy goes to 4th on the charts. And now we're going to enter the territory of our championship competitors here at the Pocono Raceway. And here we go. John Andrews, winner of the first duel at the Glen. About a week and a half ago, grabbed that race victory on the road course. Now finds himself only 39 points behind. A race win is what he needs, essentially, to have any mathematical chance. He could theoretically finish second, and Lona finish either 25th or 26th without any laps led. There's those laps led, the pole gonna determine a few things as well tomorrow, so keep that in mind. But of course, we'll have the points as they run in the corner of your screen throughout the entire race, so you guys know what's up in terms of the championship. John Andrews in the 21. For his Crown Ultra Racing, only one win. That was that first race at Watkins Glen, but John Andrews has come close multiple times. And just think, if that race at Circuit of the Americas did not happen for John Andrews, he could theoretically be the points leader. If he had won that race back in March, he could definitely have been in contention for this title here. But 39 behind, it's going to take a bit of a miracle, but he still has an opportunity. We'll have to see if he can pull it off. We'll see where he ends up qualifying here. Needs to beat a 161 for the pole. Doesn't necessarily need the pole for the win, but he's got 201, and he's pretty darn close, I'll tell you that much. That's second quickest for John Andrews. And keep in mind, too, the pole winner will get a bonus point towards the championship. So if Lona, J Knapp, Aaron Abel get that, that's one more point, and every point matters in this championship, especially in this finale race. Christian Vargas is the Indianapolis 250 pole sitter. Finished runner-up in the Indy 250. That was the highlight of his season, no doubt about it. Finished runner-up to Angel Gutierrez in that race. Other than that, it has been absolutely miserable for the Ryan Durrani Incorporated driver. Could get a little tight here with John Andrews, maybe. Yeah, I don't think so. I think he'll be on his own right here. We'll see where he ends up clocking in right here. So John Andrews now up to second. Nicolas Samudio looking to start third now for tomorrow's race. These guys just all over the board. Normally, it's an equal rating series. Who am I kidding? Trying to make something out of nothing with that discussion right there. They're always all over the board when it comes to Indy qualifying. Vargas going to start his fast lap right here. And after Vargas, only 6 drivers left to go here in qualifying from the Pocono Raceway. Of course, I have not been paying attention to the miles per hour there at the top. They do slow down significantly, though, in the turn number 3. That's the big difference between here and Indianapolis. Indianapolis are essentially over 200 the whole way through. Not here. They dipped down to the 170s. A 3.44 there for Vargas. So midway through the field for him. Here we go. J Knapp is up next. This is going to be huge right here. And see where he ends up starting here for this World Championship 200. Angel Olvera and J Knapp in this session. Not a good season at all for Angel Olvera in the 1. But J Knapp, will get to him in a second. Of course, winner of the last race at Watkins Glen. And now sits only 22 points behind in this title race. But here's Angel Olvera for Trackhouse Racing. Of course, his teammate Caleb Rose has had a much better season, but Olvera, a veteran of this series, has won a couple times, especially at Lime Rock Park. That's one of his wheelhouses right there, and it's not been the season for Olvera by any stretch of the imagination. 24th in points coming into this one. I'm sure he hoped for more. But here's J Knapp, number 98. Third in the championship standings coming into this race, and a race victory again would be huge. Here's the other thing, NS Racing has both of their drivers in championship contention. Both Aaron Abel and J Knapp, both with 1 win on the year so far. And J Knapp definitely looking to get this title. Finally got his first career win on the channel at Watkins Glen last week. And we'll see what he can do in this number 98 machine as he starts his fast lap. Of course, John Anders, a guy he's definitely got to watch out for. He was 39 behind, is currently second with a 2:01. We'll see what J Knapp ends up posting. We'll get to Olvera here real quickly, and Olvera goes to a 3:06. Solid time there for Olvera. J Knapp here in the 98, definitely the guy we're watching out for here, because if he can get a top 5 starting position and hold it inside the top 5 and win the race, especially if Lona and Aaron Abel qualify deep in the field, which, they haven't had the best of qualifying runs this season. We'll have to see what they end up doing. Across the line, J Knapp going to go to a 2:98. Yeah, it's kind of right in the middle there, not too drastic. A little bit above Olvera right there, but we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how that ends up shaking out for him. And here we go. Definitely one of the biggest drivers that we're going to be focusing on in tomorrow's race. Aaron Abel, only 6 points off of Lona coming into this finale race. We'll just have to see what the 97 can in fact pull off here for NS Racing. Of course, his teammate also in the championship battle there with J Knapp. J Knapp currently sits 10th, so pretty decent time for J Knapp. I'm sure he would like to start on the inside, so maybe Aaron Abel might push him out right there. Noah Clifton, the other driver in this session. Not been a good season for Clifton in any way, shape, or form, but Aaron Abel got the win at Pikes Peak earlier this year and was tied with Lona going into the duel at the Glen. Took the points lead away from her after the first race, had a miserable second race, got spun out, actually caused the wreck himself, knocked himself out, finished 25th, and Lona was able to pull back ahead by 6 going into the finale. Can't make any mistakes like that tomorrow. However, he may get a bit of a draft. Wow, how about this if this ends up working out for Aaron Abel right here. He's on his fast lap, getting a bit of a pull here from Noah Clifton going into the corners. And because of that, Aaron Abel may end up getting this pole position. This is the one little technicality about doing the 2-car groups like this. This is the first time we've seen it here. And that 97, I think, is going to be able to go to the top. No, 3-2-0. Wow, okay. Not enough there for Aaron Abel. I thought he was going to get a bit of a pull, but maybe he did. Maybe he had a slow lap going. That's good enough for 14th right now for Aaron Abel, so right in the middle. That's usually how it goes. All these championship competitors start in the middle, but John Anders kind of starting up there up front. Now Noah Clifton, on the other hand, this 97 might be pushing him a little bit here and assisting that 94. We'll have to see if that ends up, in fact, being the case as Clifton comes across the line for his fast lap. And interestingly enough, I don't think these guys really affect each other too much. We'll have to see if that is in fact the case. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Clifton going to the top of the board. 1-4-8 right there. He benefited from that. And Noah Clifton looking to get this bonus point. But one more group, Lona and Ace Garcia. Let's see who wins the poll. I have a good feeling it'll end up being Clifton. And here we go for our last group. Ace Garcia, who has had a miserable season. And it was an exclamation point at the end of that. After our last race at Watkins Glen, he was the race leader, led 10 laps in that 15-lap dual race, second one that we had, and blew an engine, and it led J Knapp to victory lane, and kind of gave us the championship scenario that we have right now, because J Knapp 22 behind Lona. Now she's still on the pit lane. We'll get to her when she comes out. But Ace Garcia here in the number 27. Could be his last race. Not sure if he's going to return or not. Haven't heard many plans on that front, but we'll have to see what the 27 can, in fact, pull off right here. For the Dutch Atlantis Racing Team, they have not had a good year at all over there at Frank Chilton's organization. I'm wondering if Lona saw that last session there. Noah Clifton is wondering, yeah, maybe I'll stay out now. These AI, they're not smart enough to do that. They're not smart enough to do that. I think that pretty much seals it for Clifton, but where will Lona end up slotting in? That's the big question, because that 00 kind of has kind of has to keep Aaron Abel at bay because that 97 can easily take the championship away. He's got a 3:08 there for Ace Garcia. Now, her two teammates have had pretty solid runs. They're right there in 6th and 7th. I'm intrigued to see if her time is similar to Fitzwater and Angel Gutierrez. Here we go for Lona. She's going to start her fast lap right here. And our points leader by 6 points ahead of Aaron Abel. Abel's currently 15th with a 3:20. Knapp is 11th at 2:98, and then John Anders a 2:01 with his time. We'll see what this 00 can in fact pull off. Lona, rookie, of course. Lona and Abel both rookies in the Haas IndyCar Series. Lona, the least experienced of all our championship competitors. Yet she is the points leader. Aaron Abel did run a season in trucks last year. And then Knapp, second season in IndyCar, and John Anders has been around forever. So, very interesting group of drivers going for this title. We'll see what Lona can do across the line in the 00. It is, oh boy, 3:67. She's below Aaron Abel. And that's going to put her... Let me see if I can do the math correctly here. You guys already see it. I don't see it yet because I got to initiate it. That puts her 5 positions behind Aaron Abel going into the race. So she's going to end up starting just 1 point ahead there. Noah Clifton wins the pole for the Haas World Championship 200. Let's debrief and then let's get out of here. And then we'll get over to the Valvoline 400 later tonight. How's that sound? All right, that'll do it here from Pocono, at least for today. Of course, tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, the Haas World Championship 200K. Excited to see who gets this championship, and it's going to be quite tight because our points leader, Lona, going to be starting deep in the field, 21st. Aaron Abel will be 16th, Knapp will be 11th, and John Anders will be 3rd. So, I don't know, it's anybody's game. Noah Clifton and Logan Williams, though, in row 1. Andrews and Samudio in row 2. Bradshaw, Zachary Fitzwater in row 3. Angel Gutierrez and Eric True in row 4. Thomas Troxell, Tanner Partin in row 5. Knapp, Ribbleton in row 6. Angel Olvera, Ace Garcia in row 7. Landon Smith Jr., Aaron Abel in row 8. Avery Alford, Christian Vargas in row 9. Chris Reynolds and Christian Master in row number 10. Lona and Justin Zajdel in row 11. Brad Sober, Cole Raymond in row 12. Caleb Rose, John Stewart in row 13. And then Trey Smith by himself there in row 14. That's all I got for you, but 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, or this evening, I should say, at the Daytona International Raceway. It's the Valvoline 400, the 29th race of the season in the Wawa Cup Series, and what a pivotal race it is going to be. So excited to see how it all shakes up. We've had a lot of great races at Daytona so far this week, all leading up to this one, the penultimate race of the season in the Wawa Cup Series. They're going to set up their title tonight. We'll have to see how it all goes down. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. We'll see you guys tomorrow at noon Eastern Time for the Haas World Championship 200K here from the Pocono Raceway. Congratulations to Noah Clifton for winning the pole, and I will see you guys later.